Section 4.5 is on negative exponents and reciprocals. So first thing we're going to do is look at the zero property of exponents. And basically any base that's raised to the power of 0, the answer would be 1. You kind of consider how that, why that's true. If you kind of think about like powers of, for example, 3. If you have 3 cubed, you get 27. If you have 3 squared, you get 9. If you have 3 to the power 1, you get 3. So basically, as you go from one level to the next, you're dividing by 3 each time. So it makes sense that 3 to the power 0 would be 3 divided by 3, or 1. So you can think of it like that. If you look at the statement 7 to the negative 2 times 7 to the positive 2, using our rules of exponents, we know that that means 7 to the negative 2 plus 2, or 7 to the 0. And anything raised to the power 0 would be 1. That means that the product of 7 to the negative 2 and 7 to the positive 2 is a product of 1, and therefore things that often have a product of 1 are considered reciprocals of each other. So 7 to the negative 2 times 7 to the positive 2 should be reciprocals of one another, which means that leads to the definition that 7 to the negative 2 is 1 over 7 squared, and 7 squared is 1 over 7 to the negative 2. So since 7 to the negative 2 is 1 over 7 squared, and 7 squared is 49, then it makes sense that 7 to the negative 2 is 1 over 49. So when we have negative exponents, we can redefine a negative exponent in terms of a positive exponent. So x to the negative n then can be defined as 1 over x to the n. Similarly, 1 over x to the negative n can be defined as x to the positive n. Provided, of course, x is not 0, because if x was 0, then we'd have division by 0. X in the denominator would make a 0 in the denominator, and that's undefined. So using our new rule now, we can define 8 to the negative 2 as 1 over 8 squared, or 1 over 64. And 25 to the negative 3 over 2 would equal 1 over 25 to the positive 3 over 2, which would equal 1 over the square root of 25 cubed, which would equal 1 over 5 cubed, or 1 over 125. 5 cubed is 1 over 25. 1 over 125, I'm sorry. Now, when we have something that is a base that's a fraction, 1 over a base is the same thing as the reciprocal of the base. So that would make this 16 over 9 to the power of positive 3 over 2. So then that would give you the square root of 16 over 9, all cubed, which is 4 over 3, all cubed, or 4 cubed, which is 64, over 3 cubed, which is 27. And if we take the same negative exponent rule and simplify each of these, we could get that this is 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. This would equal 1 over x to the 4, and that's as much as we can do with that because we don't know what x is. If we have 1 over 7 to the negative 2, well then we can write that as 7 to the positive 2. And a half to the negative 3 would mean 2 over 1 to the positive 3, which would be 2 cubed, or 8. This one here, number 2a, we get a fraction again to a negative exponent, so that would mean 3 over 10 to the positive 2. I like to say negative in the exponent means reciprocal of the base to the positive exponent, to help you remember that rule. So that would be 9 over 100. And this one would be flip your base. Negative in the exponent means flip the base to the positive exponent. So that would give you negative 3 cubed, which is going to be negative 27, over 2 cubed, which is 8. And you can put that negative in the front there if you like. 0.2 to the negative 4, I prefer to work with the decimal so that I don't have to, so that would be 2/10 to the negative 4. Would be the same thing as 0.2 to the negative 4. So that would mean 10 over 2, or 5. If you want, that would be 1/5, right? As it is there. So then if you flip it, it becomes 5 to the positive 4, which is 6/25, I believe. And 1 over 2 to the negative 3 would just be simply 2 to the 3, or 8. In the next example, we have negative exponents that are fractional exponents as well, or rational exponents. So this would become 1 over 27. Negative in the exponent means reciprocal of the base to the positive exponent. Or 1 over 27 to the 2/3. I could write that like that, which would become 1 over the cubed root of 27 all squared, which is going to be 1 over 3 squared, which is going to be 1 over 9. And the next one, negative in the exponent means flip the base, which is going to be 49 to the power of positive 3 over 2. And then that would become the square root of 49 all cubed, which becomes 7 cubed, or 7 times 7 times 7, 49 times 7. Just do that over here. I don't have my calculator close by, so that's 7, 28, 34, 343. And the next one would be 1 over 81 to the positive 5 over 4. And that would become 1 over the 4th root of 81 to the power of 5, which becomes 1 over 3. 4th root of 81 is 3. 3 to the power of 5 would be 1 over 243. Because I know 3 to the power of 4 is 81, and if you multiply that by one more 3, you're going to get 243. So the next one is going to be 36 over 25. Negative in the exponent means flip the base to the positive exponent. And then that's going to be the square root of 36 over 25, which is going to be 6 over 5. Okay, question number 4, it says it's been documented that the current population of Newfoundland is 520,000, but it's been declining each year. But it is declining each year. The projected future population can be estimated using the equation P equals 520,000 times 1.023 to the power of negative t, where P is the projected population and T is time in years in the future. Based on this model, what will be the projected population? The P shouldn't be there, in 10 years to the nearest whole number. So this would be P equals 520,000 by 1.023 to the power of negative 10, was it? So this here would just be one where you'd have to use your calculator for, so I can't do that in my head. Just give me a second. I have my calculator. So again, order of operations, you'd have to do the exponent part first. So 1.023 to the power of negative 10. And that's going to give you, you should try this on your own calculator and make sure you're getting the same numbers I'm getting. So that gives you around 0.796606, so on. And if you multiply that by 520,000, that gives you 414,235.2056. So that would give you approximately, it says to the nearest whole number, so that would be about 414,235. Would be the approximate population. be approximately 414,235. And there's some questions there on pages 233 to 234 of your text that you can try to practice this material.